Hello everyone. In this lecture, we will see a next part of measurement, matrices and model in the software testing. So these are the content: software matrices, categories of matrices, object-oriented matrices used in the testing. Then what should we measure during the testing? And then we have software quality attribute prediction model. So when we think about the measurement, there are lots of questions in your mind, like how do we measure the progress of testing? When do we release the software? Why do we develop more time and resource for testing a particular module? What is the reliability of the software at the time of release? Who is the responsible for the selection of poor test suite? How many faults do we expect during the testing? How much time and resource are required for software testing? How do we know the effectiveness of test tools? So we may keep the framing of such question without much effort. However, finding the answer of such question is not easy and may require the significant amount of effort. So software testing matrices may help us to measure and quantify the many things which may help to find some answer of such a question which will used for measuring the software. So the answer of this question may lead to the important concept, which is what are the matrices are used in the software engineering. So next is what software matrices. What cannot be measured cannot be controlled is a reality in the world. So if you want to control something, you should first able to measure it. Therefore, everything should be a measurable. So if the thing is not measurable, we should make an effort to take it measurable. So the area of measurement is very important in every field, and we have to mature and establish the matrices to quantify the various things. However, in the software engineering, this area of measurement is still it's in development stage, and it may require the significant effort to make it mature, scientific and effective. So in case of software matrices, we first need to understand the differentiation between the what is a measure, what is a measurement, and what is the matrices. So these terms are normally often we use for interchangeably, like measurement and matrices. But basically, once you know what is this measure, matrices, and what is measurement, and if you know the difference between this, then you can easily use this in particular whenever you require. Okay, so first is what is a measure. A measure provides a quantitative indication of extent, amount, dimension, capacity, or size of some attribute of product or process. So it is what a measure. What will the measure means? A quantitative indication about what is that amount, dimension, capacity, and size of some attribute of that product. Okay, so by that we measure that product. For example, a number of failure occurred during the testing. This is called as a measure. Okay, now what is a measurement? A measurement is the act of determining a measure. So when you measure, the process which you use for that is called as act of determining a measure is called as measurement. So it is a process by which a number or symbols are assigned to attribute of an entity in the real world in a such a way that you have to describe them according to clearly defined rules. So as you know, we are measuring the product. So when you measure the product, the process which assign the value or a number to that attribute of that entity in a such a way that we can describe that entity by their value of that attribute. So the process which assign the value to that attribute, that process is called as measurement. For example, a way of recording such a failure. So the way of recording that failure which we measure, that the process is called as measurement. So we have to measure everything of which is every attribute of entity. So as you know, in the real world we have entity, and that entity having the set of attribute to describe them. So we have to measure the every attributes of that entity by which we can describe it. So for that we have to establish the matrices for measuring that attribute. Okay, so the next we have what is matrices. So matrix is a quantitative measure of degree to which a product or processes a given attribute. Okay, so it is a measure. So it is a quantitative measure, means we have a value by which we can measure it, to which the product having that attribute that purchase the value for it. So that we call as matrices. or another definition, the continuous application of measurement based technique to the software development process, and it's a product to supply the meaningful and timely management information together with the use of those techniques to improve the process and its product. So it is a matrices is a measurement based techniques, so which we can measure its progress. So based on that we get the value which get the meaningful information about that product, so that is a chance for improvement of that process and product. Okay, so that we called as a matrices. So so many things are covered like through the matrices. So software matrices are related to the measure to which involves the number of quantification. So these numbers are used to produce the better product and improve the related process. So we have the quantification process which assign the number to that, and based on that we will get a chance to know the product very well, what is a betterment for that product and what is the improvement in that process. So we like to measure the quality attributes such as testability, complexity, reliability, maintainability, efficiency, portability, enhancement, which is used for the software. Okay, so we have that measure. Even we have a measure like size, effort, development type, resources. So these are called as measure. Okay, which for use for the software product. Okay, so these are the main three terms are used like measure, measurement, and matrices used in the software engineering. Okay, now what are the application where this matrices is used? So the software matrices are applicable in all phases of software development lifecycle. So start with the first phase. So in the software requirement and analysis phase, where the output of that phase is SRS document. So we may have to estimate the cost, manpower requirement, and development time of the software, because the customer may like to know the cost of software and development time before signing the contract. So as we'll know, the SRS document is act as a contract between the customer and developer. So the reliability and the effectiveness of SRS document may helps to increase the confidence level of customer and may provide the better foundation of designing the product. Okay, so for that we have some matrices which we use for the SRS, which are available for finding the cost and size estimation. Like we have our models which is used to find the cost and size of the product in early phase of development. So at the SRS phase we can find what is the cost and size required for the product. So we have some models which is used for the measurement of matrices like cost and size, which with nothing but COCOMO, Putnam resource allocation model, function point estimation model. So these are some ready-made models. The aim of this model which will find the cost and size required for the product at during the SRS phase only. So what are the matrices used in this? Some matrices available for the SRS document like number of mistakes found during the verification, change request frequency, and reliability. Okay, so that we have used the matrices using the SRS document. Okay, so the second phase is the design phase. So in the design phase, we may like to measure the stability of the design, coupling among the modules, cohesion of the module, etc. So we may like to measure the amount of data input to software, processed by software, and also produced by the software. So the count the amount of data input, process in, output from the software is called as the matrices used for the design phase. There are some additional matrices also used like number of variables, number of operands, number of live variable, variable span, module weakness. So these are some matrices used for the design phase. Also there are some additional matrices like a flow matrices like fan in, fan out. So these are the many matrices used in the design phase also. The next phase we have now use case, which is also one of the part of design phase, which also helps to find, which also derives some design matrices like counting the actors, counting the use cases, counting the number of links, etc. So some of the matrices also used for design the various web applications like number of static pages, the number of dynamic web pages, number of internal page link, word count, static dynamic object, time taken to search the web page, similar web pages. So these are the matrices used in the web applications. Okay, so software matrices also used in the implementation phase also. So in the implementation phase also, we have some measurement for the measuring that phase. So some of the software matrices used for the implementation in terms of size, like token count, program length, program volumes, program level, difficulty, estimation of time effort, then language level. Okay, it is measured in terms of implementation. Also we have some measurement at the implementation in terms of complexity also, like cyclomatic complexity, key count, then feature count. So these are the measurement we can use for the implementation as per, like in case of size also, or we can measure in terms of complexity term also. We also find some measurement during the source code also, like there are many source code measurements also used, like source code coverage. What are the source code coverage? Then test suite effectiveness, then number of failures experienced during time. So in short, we have a measurement at coding phase also. Also we have measurement at the testing phase also. So there are some matrices also used in the testing phase, like percentage of source code covered by test case, test suite effectiveness, then number of failure experienced per unit time, number of path, number of independent path, then percentage of statement coverage, statement percentage of branch coverage. Okay, so these are the some matrices are used during the testing phase also. Also we have some number of matrices in use in the maintenance phase also, like some of the matrices in the maintenance phase, like number of faults reported per year, then number of requested for changes per year, percentage of source code modified per year, percentage of absolute source code per year. Okay, so we have find the number of application of the software matrices, and these are the software matrices used in the every phase of software development life cycle. So once you find these matrices, they provide the meaningful and timely information which helps to take the corrective actions whenever we require in the development. So effective implementation of matrices may helps to improve the quality of the software and may help us to deliver the software in time and within the budget. So once you define the matrices for the every phase, it will help for the software development to take the corrective action whenever it is required. And also the help of matrices, that once you apply the effective matrices, it will helps to improve the quality of the software, and also it will help us to develop the software within a time and maintain within a budget. So for that purpose, we need to identify some of the matrices used in the development. So we have that matrices in the every phase of software development life cycle. So we have matrices at the requirement analysis phase, we have matrices at the design phase also, we have matrices at the implementation phase also, we have matrices at the testing also, and even we have matrices at the maintenance phase. Okay, together these all matrices help us for the software development improvement. Okay, so the question what next is what are the categories of the matrices? Basically, there are two broad categories of the software matrices, namely product matrices and the process matrices. So what is the product matrices? The product matrices describe the characteristics of product such as size, complexity, design feature, performance, efficiency, reliability, portability, etc. Then what is the process matrices? Describe the effectiveness and the quality of the process that produce the software product. Example like effort required in the process, time to produce the product, effectiveness of the defect found, number of defects found during the testing, maturity of the process. So this we call as process matrices. So in short, what is a product matrices is nothing but it represents the characteristics of that product. Like we can measure like size, complexity, performance. These are called as product matrices. And what is the process matrices? Like we measure that process which is used for the matrices. Like we check the effectiveness, quality of the product, then what is the effort is used during the process. This is called as process matrices. So every matrices is divided into either product matrices or process matrices. So we'll see what is the product matrices for testing. Okay, so these matrices provide the information about the testing status of your software product, because as you know, testing is the continuous activities performed. So if you know what is the status of that testing which is performed, that information we can get through the product matrices. Okay, so the data for such matrices also generated during the testing and may help us to know the quality of product, because the based on the values of the product matrices which help us to know what is the quality of the product. So some of the basic product matrices are like, first is number of failure experienced in the time interval between the two failure, commutative failures experienced up to the specified time, time of failure, estimated times for testing, and actual testing time. So these are called as direct product matrices of the testing. Okay, so based on these basic product matrices of the testing, we can find some additional matrices also. So with the best of the basic matrices, we can find the additional matrices such as percentage of time space. A percentage of time spent is calculated by using the basic attribute like actual time spent divided by estimated testing time into the 100. Like we can also, as you know, the time interval between the failures, we can also identify the average time interval between the failure. Also, we know the how many failures occur, so we can find out the maximum and minimum failure experience during the time interval. Also, we can find out how many average number of failures identified during the interval time, and what is the time remaining to complete the testing. Like these are the additional matrices which we can calculate from the basic matrices. So together this is called as product matrix of testing. Similarly, we based on these basic matrices, we can also identify many additional matrices also, which are called as product matrices. Next is what? Process matrices for the testing. It is developed to, so what is the process matrices? It is developed to monitor the progress of testing, status of design and development phases, and the outcome of test case after execution. So basically these matrices are developed to monitor the progress of your testing and even the design of status of your design development and test cases, and also the outcome of test case execution. So also, like product matrices, this process, we have some basic process matrices which are used for the testing, like number of test case design, number of test case executed, number of test case pass, number of test case failed, test case execution time, total execution time, time spent for the development of test cases, total time spent for the development of all test cases. So these are the basic process matrices used for the testing. So based on this is called as direct measurement. So based on this direct measurement of process matrices, we can find out some additional matrices like percentage of test case executed, percentage of test case passed, percentage of test case failed, total execution time divided by total estimation time, then average execution time of the test case. So these matrices which we have discussed, which know the progress of testing and may provide the meaningful information of tester and project management. So an effective test case plan may force us to capture the data and convert into the meaningful matrices, both in case of process and product. So whenever you have developed the matrices, so this document also guides the organization for the future project and also suggest some changes in existing projects to produce the good quality software. Okay, so basically these are the two matrices of the testing, like product matrices which are called as direct measurement, by which we can directly measure like number of failure occur. Then based on that we can find out the additional based on the product matrices, and we have some process matrices also. For every matrices we have this product matrices and process matrices. Now once you concern the language with object oriented, then the matrices in the object oriented are the different than the procedure oriented, because of what is the process matrices and product matrices which we have discussed, which we can directly apply for the procedure oriented. But when the object oriented concept is used in the languages, then that time the matrices used are the different. So object oriented matrices may capture many attributes of software product, and some of them are relevant in the testing. So measuring structural design attribute of software systems such as coupling, cohesion or complexity is a promising approach for early quality software, but there are several object-oriented matrices which capture the quality of design and source code. So there are 4 object-oriented matrices used in the testing. The first is the coupling matrices, second is the cohesion matrices, third is the inheritance matrices, and fourth is the size matrices. Now we'll see one by one. What is the coupling matrices? A coupling relation increases the complexity, reduce encapsulation, potential reuse, and the limit understanding and maintainability. So it requires the information about attribute usage and the method invocation of other class. So coupling which find out how the attributes of and the methods of other class are used, that will identify through the coupling. So what are the matrices used for this coupling? So we have the list for the finding the coupling matrices. So higher value of the coupling matrices indicates that the class under test will require higher number of stubs. We have to test it. So each interface we have to require to test thoroughly through the coupling matrices. So these are the list of coupling matrices. The first is the CBO, which is a coupling between the object. The CBO for the class is the count the number of other classes which is coupled. So whenever your class is coupled with the other class, we have to count for your class how many other class are coupled, which will calculate by the CBO. Then we have DAC is the another matrix, which is the data abstraction coupling. Is abstraction is a technique for creating new data type suitable for application. Like DAC is defined number of ADD defined in your class. So how many abstract data type is defined in your class, that will define DAC. Then message passing coupling means how the count the number of send statement defined by your class. So whenever you have send method for other class, that number of send method is calculated from the MPC. Likewise, we have the additional coupling methods like RFC, ICP like information flow based coupling, then information flow between inheritance coupling. Then we have fan in and fan out. What is fan in? The count the number of classes that count the given class plus the number of global data element, and fan out is on the count the modules or classes called by given module plus the number of global data element. Okay, so these are the some coupling matrices are used to measure the coupling between the classes. Next we have cohesion among the classes. The cohesion matrix is what? Cohesion is measure of degree to which element of modules are functionally related. Now in case of cohesion, we'll coupling will say that coupling of one class to the another class. Here what we check in the cohesion, like element of one module is functionally related with the another module. So it required the attribute usage and the method invocation within the class. So whenever we have within the class measurement of attribute usage and the method usage, we use the cohesion. But between the different classes, we go with the coupling. Okay, so more cohesion is desirable among the method within the class. So high cohesive classes are easy to test. So what are the matrices for cohesion? So cohesion is what the first is major matrix is what LCOM. What is the lack of cohesion of methods? So it measures the dissimilarity of the method of the class, looking for instance which is used by the method and how many instances use that method. Then TCC and LCC, which called as tight class cohesion, loose class cohesion. The TCC is defined as a percentage of pair of public method of class within the common attribute uses. So how many public method have uses the common attribute, that will decide by the TCC. And LCC define that direct attribute that measure consider attribute indirectly accessed by the method. Okay, so these are the cohesion matrices which is used for the measuring cohesion. Then third is what? Inheritance matrices. As you are aware that inheritance means when one class accesses the properties of another class, we use the inheritance. So it required the information about the ancestor and descendant of the class. So as you know about the ancestor of the class and the descendant of the class, it is mainly used in the inheritance. So it collects the method information about the how many overridden method, how many inherited method, and how many extra added method in your derived class. So this information you can collect with the inheritance matrices. So if the class with the higher number of children or subclass, more testing is required. Higher depth of the inheritance tree is more complex for the designing of the testing, because if the trees increases with the depth, it is required more number of testing of class. So testing all inherited method and class itself, we have to measure during the inheritance matrices. So these are the matrices used for inheritance matrices, like NOC, that is number of children. It's very straightforward. Then how many children of your class, that will identify by NOC attribute. Then depth of tree, then what is the maximum number of steps are available from the class root node to the child, that we call as depth of your tree, that is DIT. Then number of parent, number of descendant, number of ancestor, then number of method overridden, number of method inherited, and number of method added. Like these are the straightforward method in the inheritance. How many parents of your class, how many child of your class, how many ancestor of your class, how many descendant of your class, then how many methods are overridden in your class, how many inherited methods are there, and how many methods are extra added. That we call as measurement for inheritance matrices. And the last which measure for object-oriented matrices is the size matrices. So the size matrices is indicate the length of your class in terms of a lines of source code and method used in the class. So the size is direct measurement of your class, which measure as the length of your class in terms of how many lines in your class for source code and the method. So if the class number having the number of large number of methods, then we require greater complexity, then more test cases required for the testing the class. When the class with large number of method with greater complexity it inherited, it requires a rigorous testing. So for that, if the class with the large number of public method, we require testing of public method as well as defined by the class. So these are the size matrices in which number of attribute per class, number of method per class, weighted method plus class, which multiplication of sum of complexity of all the method, then number of public method, non-public method, and LOC, the lines of code. So these are the matrices used for the size matrices. So in short, in object oriented, we have 4 matrices: cohesion matrices, coupling matrices, Then third one is your inheritance matrices, and fourth is the size matrices. So that is about the how the matrices is used for the object oriented. Okay, so that is about this lecture about the what is the matrices in the software engineering. Thank you.